Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. And Karim Benzema today, we're being told lots of rumours flowing around about him today, as per usual, but not good rumours if you're hoping for Benzema to come to Arsenal this season. The first one, Rafa Benitez, speaking to Spanish newspaper El Pas, said, and these are his quotes, he said, Benzema is a great player, and one of my ideas this season is that he exceeds the barrier of 20 to 25 goals. In that, I have put a lot of confidence. So that seems to suggest that, Rafa Benitez sees Benzema as staying at the club, that Benzema will not be leaving if he's putting a lot of faith in him and actually saying that, you know what, I want you this season to go out there and get 20 to 25 goals. Guillaume Balaguer, by the way, he's on Sky, Spanish correspondent. He's also tweeted out yesterday saying, by the way, nobody at Real Madrid expects Benzema to leave. And listen, to get a deal done with a club like Real Madrid, we've known this all of summer. It's going to be really, really difficult to get a deal like Benzema done. It all hinges, as I've said, on whether Madrid want to sell or not. We know that Benzema doesn't really want to leave Real Madrid. He wants to stay there. Why would you want to leave a club like Real Madrid? He doesn't really want to leave, but my understanding on it's been all along that if he does leave, his first choice has been Arsenal, and that's why Arsenal have been, heavily in for Benzema. But it's starting to look like Real Madrid are going to hold on to Benzema. Even a lot of the things around it are not falling into place. You see De Gea, a lot of people suggested that they may use the money for Benzema to get De Gea. We've been a lot of suggestions today that Real Madrid are prepared to let De Gea stay at Manchester United until next season so he can then walk across to them for nothing. And then they'll even pay him a bonus if he does that because they'll be able to get him cheaper. And just to prove how hard it is to get a player from Real Madrid, we've seen yesterday what's happened with Ramos, who all summer long was linked with a move to Manchester United. He himself alluded to it and said, I'm going to United. He has signed a brand new contract with Real Madrid. So when Real Madrid want to hang on to a player, it doesn't matter how much money you're offering, it's very, very difficult to get over the line. And a lot of suggestions out there. A friend of mine, George over there in Greece, telling me that he knows somebody who's a shareholder at Real Madrid, and the shareholder said that, listen, they don't want to sell him. So there's still 2 weeks to go. We don't know what's going to happen. We all remember the Ozil deal when nobody thought that Ozil was going to leave the club. All the suggestions were that he was going nowhere. And then at the last minute, he left. It was a bit similar with Falcao last season from Monaco. But certainly at the moment, all the signs are starting to point towards Benzema staying at Real Madrid, which then means who will Arsenal get as a striker in that striker position? And that is the question that is on a lot of people's lips at the moment. Lots of publications today coming out and saying that the alternative is Edinson Cavani, that Arsenal have already turned their attentions to Cavani. They think that they could get him over the line for about £35.5 million, and that PSG may be willing to sell the 29-year-old, or is he 28-year-old? Listen, Cavani has been on Arsenal's radar for many, many years. A couple of years ago, probably the best striker in the world before he was bought by PSG. He's gone to PSG. Let's face it, it hasn't worked. He's been playing out on the wing. And even when he has played through the middle, maybe in the fact that he's trying so hard to prove himself, he's tended to snatch at chances. He's just not been the Cavani of old that you used to see at Napoli, ripping defenses to shreds with his physical ability and his goal-scoring prowess. But we're being told today that he is the option. It doesn't get on very well at all with the manager of PSG, Laurent Blanc, and hence the linking him to Arsenal. One paper today even suggesting that Arsenal could sign him in 2 days. Now, we've been hearing stuff like that all summer, so we're not going to hang on to stuff like that. But Edison Cavani being heavily linked with a move to Arsenal today, as is his other strike partner. We spoke about Lavezzi yesterday being linked with Arsenal. Seems like the whole of the front three are being linked with Arsenal, because Ibrahimovic is also being linked with Arsenal today. And of course, Ibrahimovic has only got a year left on his current deal with PSG. Doesn't look like they'll be signing an extension, so he'll be able to move on. He'd be, transfer fee wise, would be fairly cheap for a player of his caliber. But let's not forget, he's now 33 years of age. Although still very fit, still a brilliant player. He is an absolute, still possibly one of the best strikers in the world. But he's aging. 33, you've got to be worried when you see a player getting to that sort of age. It would be about taking a huge chance if you signed a player of Ibrahimovic's caliber. Remember as well, he's got a massive ego. Could imagine him and Giroud clashing in the dressing room for sure. But he would be fairly cheap. Lots of clubs interested in him, by the way. Manchester United are interested in him. And we're also being told openly, but by AC Milan, Silvio Berlusconi, saying yesterday that, you know, if Ibrahimovic is available, we definitely want to bring him back to Milan. So would Arsene Wenger take a chance with a 33-year-old player? I don't know. I don't know. It just seems that it doesn't seem the sort of signing. Historically, Wenger hasn't made signings of that age. All right, I know you can point to Czech, but it's a bit different when it's a goalkeeper to an outfield player. Ibrahimovic, without doubt for me, if you signed him, would score lots and lots of goals, especially at Arsenal. He would score lots and lots of goals. Why not? I mean, why not worth a punt? Does every player have to fit into a certain age bracket? I mean, I think Ibrahimovic, Alexis up front, it'd be deadly. But I just don't think it's an Arsene Wenger type signing. If we look at him historically, I can't see Arsene Wenger signing a player like Ibrahimovic. And as I've been saying all along, then that just shows you that there's not a lot of strikers out there. And Arsene Wenger alluding the other day that he might stick with what he's got. On Sunday, he said, these are his quotes: "We have good strikers. Walcott was not used today, and he's an exceptional striker. Welbeck is coming back, and we have Alexis." And there's no doubt that Alexis Sanchez will score lots of goals this season. He got over 20 last season, which was excellent. He could possibly do better this season, but Alexis still not for me an out-and-out striker. Alexis does some of his best works coming in off the flanks. Same with Welbeck. I think he does his best work coming in off the flanks. And same with Walcott. Best works coming in off the flanks, which means only out-and-out striker, only out-and-out striker in an away game who'll be able to hold that ball up, etc., is Olivier Giroud. When Giroud's not playing, we saw it before when he was out injured last year. There's nobody in that Arsenal team who can sort of hold that ball up. We've got lots of players who can run in behind, but we don't have the option like what we had with Giroud on Saturday, where he can hold the ball up, where at the end of a game, when the pressure's on, you can launch a ball up to him and he can hold it and bring other players into play in the midfield like Ramsey, etc. We don't have that option if Giroud is not in the team. And you see it when Giroud is out for any length of time. And if your only other options are players that can run in behind, teams can set up for that. And what they can do is they can just like play very deep and try and soak it up. So I still think we need a striker. Who is that striker going to be? It's $1 million question. If we're unable to get Benzema, then we've got problems. We've got problems in bringing in an alternative. Let's see what you guys have had to say. Bandit Cavi says, we don't need Lavezzi. We spoke about Lavezzi yesterday being linked with a move to Arsenal. He said, we don't need Lavezzi. It would only stunt Oxlade-Chamberlain's progression. We've got no need for imports in that position. Let's keep it British for once. He had a chance, just like Cavani, to join us when they were at Napoli. He chose to go to the oil-rich Parisians. Forget him and get Charlie Austin for 15 mil and wages of 45,000. He might per week, by the way. He might not win us a Champions League, but domestically, he's a lucky nugget. I don't know about Charlie Austin. As I said, I want to see somebody, no disrespect to Charlie Austin, somebody of a higher caliber coming in that can help us to try and win the Champions League. Waldo Bester says, Griezmann's son. That's what he simply says. Griezmann will be a fantastic signing. Again, can't see Atletico Madrid letting go of their star player unless you made absolutely ridiculous offer. Jason Wilkinson's quite scathing here. He said, just face it, Robbie. He's AKA Muppet Wenger. He's not signing anyone this summer. He's too busy trying to make square pegs fit into round holes. He should have gone years ago. Until he does, we're going to be useless. And he said he's always useless, and some other expletives about Wenger. He's not happy with Arsene Wenger's transfer business this summer. We've got here, he says, I'm a United fan, but why does Arsene Wenger never sign anyone? He said, laugh out loud, he's worse than Ferguson. Toby Turpin says, Lukaku or Griezmann is the only possible way, because Benzema won't come, and also he's nearly 28. A lot of people talking about Lukaku this week on the back of him having one great. Nobody mentioned Lukaku all summer. He scores 2 goals at the weekend. All of a sudden, let's get Lukaku. We can be very reactive here. Me as well, by the way. I could be as well. We're football fans. It happens. Abhinav Tiwari says, hey, Robbie, he goes, please share my comment. He says, number one, if the Benzema deal fails, how about Pato? He can be a compatriot to Giroud. Sorry, I'm not having Pato. So many injuries. He's gone over to Brazil. He's not lighting it up there. Why would we want to bring in Pato? Well, only because he's a name? No, I don't think so. He also says, what about we buy Goetze and play him as a striker? Because Draxler's young and injury-prone. Goetze would be the perfect buy if Benzema fails. And he said he's still got fingers crossed on the Benzema deal. Goetze, again, converting him to a striker. I don't know. He's not an out-and-out striker. He's be a guy who'd want to play in behind the strike force. That's where he does his best work. Can't see it. Sal HD says Icardi would be a great buy. And let's get one more here. This is Xguna L01, quite a long one here. He says, I rate Lavezzi, but he's not world-class. We need to get a new centre-back. We need to defend even better. Get a young centre-back like Marquinhos or Laporte. Again, these are players being suggested that would be very, very hard to get. A new defensive midfielder like Kritchak. Offensive midfielder like Goetze. Where would you play Goetze? As I said, we're struggling at the moment to accommodate all the midfielders we got without bringing in another world-class one to fit in there. And striker, he said Benzema or Higuain would be great for Arsenal. Higuain had a terrible World Cup, but it doesn't mean he's not world-class. The man is shooting more than 1 in 2 goals per game, and he would score even more at Arsenal. So lots of suggestions there. Some of those suggestions are players that would be virtually impossible to get away from their club at the moment. It's going to be a very interesting last couple of weeks of the transfer window to see who Arsenal buy. I think Arsenal must buy somebody. The team is good. It needs a little freshening up. If you can't get Benzema, I'm really struggling to see who that other world-class player it is that Arsenal will be able to get over the line. Maybe Ibrahimovic, 33 years of age, you reckon? I don't know. Thanks for watching. We'll be back around about the same time tomorrow.